If you're a volleyball player who's looking to jump higher, move quicker, and overall just be more athletic, then this video is definitely for you. My name is Greg Hersig, and I'm a professional volleyball strength conditioning coach. And today I'm going to walk you through a plyometric and jump training workout that you can start using immediately to increase your vert so you can get more kills, get more blocks, and maybe even get more digs. One note before we get into that is that this is just the plyometric and jumping portion of the workout. Typically after we do this, we would still do some kind of weight training, but I'm not going to include that in this video. We're going to do a more detailed video on a full lower body workout coming soon. The first thing I always do before a jumping workout is just some kind of warm up. And one of my absolute go-tos is alternating between a backward sled drag and a forward sled push. The backward sled drag is amazing at getting your knees warmed up, and if you have jumper's knee, it can actually help your knees feel better immediately and temporarily so you can make it through the workout without pain. The sled push uses your glutes, quads, and calves to drive forward in a super athletic movement, and it helps you get all of those muscles warmed up, as well as just getting your heart rate up and your blood pumping. For this, you can either do continuously forward and backward with a light weight for 3 to 5 minutes, or you can do 3 to 5 sets starting with a lighter weight and increasing each time until you find something that's heavy and challenging. Now, if you don't have a sled, you can do any kind of warm-up like jogging or the bike, or what I really like to do to replicate the backward sled is to go backwards on an incline treadmill. Next, what we're going to do are essentially warm-up plyometrics. This first one is called the front foot elevated hop, and it allows you to get a ton of low-intensity hopping contacts so you can gradually warm up your ankle and Achilles for the more intense movements that we're going to do in a few minutes. We're going to do sets of 20 reps on each leg for these for a good warm-up. We're going to pair that with these split leaps, which is essentially a small jump up and down in this split squat position. These start to get some fast and athletic contractions in the quads and glutes, so again, we can warm up for the more intense split position jumping in our next segment of exercises. Again, we're going to do sets of 20 in each position, and you're going to repeat these and the last exercise, the front foot elevated hops, for 2 total sets. Remember that these are just meant to be warm-ups, so treat them as such with a lower intensity. So now that we've done our cardiovascular warm-up and our plyometric warm-up, we're gonna move into our more intense plyometric exercises. And the goal of these exercises is a high output. So we want to make sure we're basically jumping as high as we can on each exercise. These intense plyos are going to be 3 exercises that we're going to alternate through with enough rest in between that you can still get a really high output on the jumps. The first exercise is low to high leaps, where we're staying on both feet and alternating a short jump with a high jump as high as we can. The low rep is essentially a rebound rep that sets us up for our next high rep. This exercise is sort of an intermediate variation where the beginner version would just be high reps at lower intensities of the low contacts, and the advanced version would be doing each rep as high as you possibly can for a lower amount of reps, like maybe 5 to 6. On the high reps, we want to think about jumping as high as we can, but also getting off the ground as fast as possible, meaning you don't want to stay on the ground and really load up for a long time in a deep squat just to jump higher. You want to hit the ground as hard as you can and rebound up really quickly so you can get off the ground as fast as possible while still trying to jump high. For this, we're going to do 5 to 6 reps of the high reps per set. The second exercise is the deep split exchange leap, where again, we're doing a low rep alternating with a high rep, but now on the high rep, we are switching our feet. Again, you can see in the video that the low rep is a rebound to catch yourself in the new position, and that sets you up for the high rep, which is where you switch feet to the other side. The goal on this one isn't as much about ground contact time, but getting into a deeper split squat so that we can use more of our hips and quads to generate power. Do 10 total switches, which essentially gives you 5 high reps on each leg. The final exercise of our plyometrics is going to be deep lateral bounds, which can also be called skater bounds. A bound is when you jump from one foot to the other foot, and in this case, we're doing it laterally, so obviously that means side to side. Just like in the last exercise, we're looking at getting into deeper ranges of motion, and so we're not as worried about fast ground contact time. The goal is to get both as high as you can while also traveling as far to the side as you can, and also being able to maintain your balance and stability landing on your other leg. Do 5 to 6 reps on each leg for this one. Take about 30 to 60 seconds rest between exercises and at least 60 to seconds rest between rounds, and do a total of 3 rounds of this. Lately, I've been putting more time and attention into these bigger range of motion, deep tier plyometrics because I'm noticing a really good transfer over to the overall athleticism with my clients. I think deep tier plyos are especially beneficial for beach volleyball players because in beach volleyball, we're not worried about fast ground contact times like we are in indoor. In beach, we need to be stronger and more resilient in these deeper ranges, and the deep tier plyos train that really well. It's summertime right now, but as we transition into the fall and winter, I will have clients switch to a higher percentage of the more traditional plyometrics, where we're focusing on smaller ranges of motion and faster ground contact times, because that's going to transfer more to indoor volleyball when we're focused on that. And then our last category of jumps for today is going to be our power-focused jumps. Our goal with these jumps is maximum height every time, going through a very sport-specific range of motion, and you'll see what I mean in a second. The first power jumping exercise is going to be weighted repeat jump squats. What you're going to do is hold a dumbbell in each hand, drop down into a squat, jump as high as you can, then land and immediately drop down into your next rep. You're not going to pause and reset in between reps like you sometimes would with other jump squats. This does technically make the exercise more plyometric, but it's still going to be very power focused. I'm using 20-pound dumbbells in each hand because that's what was available to me on this turf, but you can go as high as 30% of your total squat max for total weight. So if your squat max is 200 pounds, you can do 60 total pounds, so 30 pounds in each hand. I did 3 sets of 4 reps with about a 90-second rest in between sets. There's no superset or pairing with this. We're just focused on this exercise. And our final exercise for the day is going to be max effort approach jumps. I put a little twist on mine with these dumbbells on the ground that act as a barrier that forces me to go up and over them, which is more similar to how I want to jump for beach volleyball. Obviously, I'm playing a lot of beach right now, so I really want to dial in the mechanics of my beach approach, which is not the same as my indoor approach. So when you see this video, it might seem like bad jump technique compared to what you may have seen from other coaches. But it's important to keep in mind that there's a big difference between beach approach jumps and indoor approach jumps. My goal with these is to make my last 2 steps a bit more vertical than they typically would be so that I can stomp down into the sand, get into a deeper, more powerful squat position, and explode up very vertically. Now with indoor jumping like this, we're focused more on the pushing and punching aspects of the approach, which is very horizontal until the end. The indoor approach relies much more on speed and elasticity, meaning that if you tried to do this in sand, unless it's very shallow, you're gonna end up going too fast, you'll blow through your approach, and that's gonna cause you to broad jump and not gain as much height vertically. Overall, I did 4 sets of 3 jumps with about a 90-second rest in between, trying to make sure I was jumping as high as possible at the end. So after watching these, you may be thinking to yourself, man, why should I listen to this guy? He doesn't even jump that high, which compared to a lot of people, you would be absolutely correct. But to be fair, I am a 35-year-old father of 2 who is well past his prime playing D1 or for the VLA. So that being said, I do run one of, if not the largest online strength conditioning company in the world, where we've trained well over 1,000 volleyball players from 12-year-old up to the pro level, including entire college teams and entire club programs for beach players and indoor players. I routinely help guys like Cody, who added 7 inches to his vertical in 6 months, Vito, who added nearly 7 inches in 3 months, and Sarah, who added over 5 inches to her vertical in just 12 weeks. So although I'm not jumping the highest I ever have anymore, my life is still dedicated to helping adult volleyball players jump higher, hit harder, get rid of pain, and get the ideal volleyball body for them. So if you're interested in more workouts like these, or you want to see what it would look like to work with us, there's a couple links down in my description that you can check out. One of them is for our workout membership, where you get access to multiple volleyball-specific workout programs that are going to be delivered to you through an app. There's a ton of different programs based on how often you want to lift, what your goals are, what equipment you have, and everything like that. And the other is for our one-on-one elite coaching, which is the most comprehensive online volleyball transformation system on the planet, where you get access to one of our volleyball professional strength conditioning coaches, and you'll work one-on-one with them to get you things like custom workout programs, custom nutrition coaching, and volleyball film review, and a whole lot more. So if you want some help taking your game to the next level, check out the links down below. Otherwise, just make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss detailed volleyball training content like this.